Alrighty then, it's time for a couple of Jungle Jax games. Let's get these shows on the road. What's going on? So, the Titanic Hydra build has sort of become a cliche now. For my channel, I mean. Essentially, I've been building in a lot of champions, and people are like, oh, Stonewall, you know, oh, what are you going to build? Tiamat? Yeah, of course they will. Essentially, it's just a really good build for bruisers or any characters that have, like, these swing resets. It's kind of a cool combo. On Jax, it's not going to, like, win you a game. It's going to be surprise your opponents how much burst you can sort of enact when you get Titanic. You can do this auto attack, W reset, and then Titanic reset, and get your three hit passive on your ultimate. It's quite a bit of burst, and you will actually see it in these two games. Also, right now, I just gotta say, this Gnar is super cocky. Apparently, he was taunting my teammate a lot and just kind of being a jerk. And it's like he pushed out so far, and he thought he'd be able to survive. It's like he's got so much distance between his own towers. Like against a Renekton and a Jax, you're just asking to die. And the enemy is a Warwick, and you know what? Surprisingly, every Jax game I played that day, which was about 4, every opponent was a Warwick. So I don't know. Either way, the Titanic Hydra build again. I've been using it a lot because the early game for a lot of games is very like simplistic right now. It's sort of like you just kind of kill somebody and then don't really do anything. You're just spending a lot of time farming up mostly. If you don't kill anybody, you just farm up. The early game is just kind of a lot of farming. And I decided, you know, from now on, I'm going to just be building Tiamat and just farm. I'm not really going to try forcing a kill unless I'm just kind of in the area, right? Or, you know, I'm going to be stealing, of course. And the Tiamat build with the long swords and all that cool stuff is pretty damn strong early on. So that helps it a lot too. That's why with my latest Zhao games, you see me just constantly be picking the Tiamat build. Because again, early game is usually you just kind of slap somebody and then you just kind of farm all day. And this, again, it's a very farm-centric build. Just constantly jump from camp to camp and steal the enemy's camps if you can. Maybe occasionally kill somebody. And for someone like Jax, that's kind of all he really wants. Which is kind of why he's been really strong in solo here right now. And I think he was even played in the competitive. I don't know if he was playing the Worlds. But yeah, essentially, you will get to a really strong mid-game with Jax, and then into the late game, eventually, you'll just become, you know, Jax mode. And the Tiamat Hydra build, Tiamat into Titanic Hydra, into some tankiness is really ideal right now, and it's really helpful for Jax. He gets to put in a lot of work with that. I know Trinity Force is like his bread and butter, and so is Hextech Gunblade, I think, still. But, you know, this other build is like a great alternative to being your quasi-tank. See, when I've been also playing Jax, I've been playing him when I have another quote-unquote quasi-tank. Essentially, you know, Renekton has like a natural boost to his health. It just kind of becomes harder, a little bit harder to kill. He's not an ideal tank at all, but you know, he's pretty dangerous and brutal and that kind of stuff. I mean, it's gonna just attract aggro because, you know, he's a killing machine. So if I pick Jax, like, they'll probably want to focus him or focus me, but either way, we're two characters that unless you focus fire one of us, you're not gonna kill either one of us. So it's like, if it's split their focus, we'll survive. If they focus me, Renekton will probably survive and, you know, murder somebody. If they focus him, I'll probably beat the crap out of them. It's kind of that. I'm not really talking too much about this game, so you can see it's like out of both games, this one's like a Giga Stomp. Sure, I do die right there, but you can see the goal disparity is pretty grim for the enemy team right now. We've also just kind of pushed them out. I'm pretty big. The enemy Warwick really kind of didn't get to do very much. Essentially, he's being controlled and kept at bay. And then here I end up just stealing the Rift Herald because, for whatever it was worth, he was trying very, very hard to be, you know, he gambled with objectives and he lost. He dies, I kill Gnar really easily, summon Rift Herald, and with that, the enemy team just kind of surrenders. Now, moving on to the other game, which is honestly kind of better. The first one was just kind of stompish. Anyhow, as I was saying, the Tiamat build is like ideal for what's his face, Jax. Essentially put, one of his bigger issues with the other build, you know, Trinity Force and whatnot, is that he's pretty, you know, easy to kill when the mid game comes out because your big ass expensive items are incomplete. But the Tiamat and then the Blood Razor and then you're just getting tankiness, it's just kind of you become harder to kill, obviously. So you survive, you get to beat people over the head. That's all the good stuff. Either way, same start, but this Warwick, you know, he has a ghost, and he burned it rather early for some reason. I don't even know why. So it just makes him very easy to kill. Boom, just kind of dead. I mean, he survived a little longer than I thought, but yeah. That's kind of one of my favorite things to do. Warwick is pretty dangerous in a 1v1 situation, but he's very easy to invade usually because he starts off with Ghost. And you know, there's no way he can survive if you surprise him. So if you ever get to spring on a Warwick, he's usually just going to die. Also, I gotta point out, I first picked Jax. I first picked Jax, and the enemy team didn't pick Xin Zhao, and then, you know, Warwick as well. I have to say that I don't know if they're just not familiar with it, but they never pick Xin Zhao into a Jax, because you're gonna really regret that. You know, you're an all-in champion against a guy who, if you prolong a fight against him, is gonna kill you. Essentially put, that Xin Zhao picked against a Jax and a Darius. Again, you don't pick all-in champions against people who like, if you all in, it's just gonna slap you across the face. So yeah, it wasn't a good choice. Basically, top lane kind of killed itself. Twisted Fate, thankfully, because of that, it's just kind of doesn't have to worry about anything. And yeah, like I said, there's another Warwick. Again, 4 games as Jax, all Warwicks. You know, what's this world coming to? Ooh, let the dogs out. Anyways, I try to steal red. They obviously knew I was there. They just catch me. They retreat. Warwick shows up. I just kind of walk away from that. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. But yeah, same thing. Tiamat build because honestly, you know, the enemy team, they're not really ever going to be a threat, and I want to be tanky enough to sort of survive any surprise attack by the Xin Zhao or something. Also, the whole Tiamat line is just pretty good to take against opponents who are never really going to do anything to you unless, you know, you're in a lane or something. So, you know, it's just, I like to take it against someone like Warwick, who the only time he's ever going to fight you is if you're super low, which you'll probably die with whatever items you had anyways. Or, someone like Sejuani or Nautilus or Maokai. They're never going to bother to really try to fight you, so you just kind of, you know, farm. Anyways, Warwick goes in on a Darius, and basically has no damage. Look at his items. I mean, he's got a Tiamat. I mean, he tries to go in again, and obviously it wouldn't have worked. If it worked the first time with his ultimate, it's not going to work the second time without his ultimate. Anyhow, I was planning on farming more, but I decided to go back because, you know, just sort of have presence around the Darius just to make sure he doesn't die. They end up taking bottom lane. You know, I'm still just farming. Again, 59 CS to 50 isn't that big, but I technically have more gold than him right now. It's a pretty big deal. Anyways, they're doing dragon, they're keeping me at bay, my teammates are slowly encroaching, and you just gotta love how easily Zillion's gonna explode right now. Anyways, they're split up, and that's actually super bad for the enemy team. I just catch Zillion, just boom. I love that. It's a little wombo combo, and eventually when I get Titanic, you're gonna see just a couple wombo combos I get to pull off. This is actually pretty bad because my Twisted Fate goes next to the Warwick in melee range, and he kind of forgets that Warwick can lifesteal the crap out of it, or at least, you know, bite and take the life. I mean, he doesn't have that really lifesteal anymore, so he kind of just died for that. Though I was able to pick him off and then just went away. Still, I don't really think it was the most worthwhile trade-off. I mean, we could have just taken the Zillion and run off, or maybe been more careful about that Warwick kill. Anyways, 4-0-1, I'm quite ahead. Again, there's quite a bit of a variation here than the other Titanic Hydra builds have been going. Jax is one of those characters in which the Blood Razor is actually really good. So instead of building either Cinder Hulk or Warrior on him or something, I instead just go straight out Blood Razor, and the tankiness comes from the other items. I don't build Black Cleaver on him at all. So immediately after the Titanic Hydra, I'll go something like Randuin's Omen, or sometimes even Warmog's Armor. That's only like, you know, if I'm feeling really brave and it's gotten really into the, you know, get really fed or something. But yeah, it's usually Randuin's Omen, Dead Man's Plate, just that kind of stuff. Dead Man's Plate is actually pretty cool on him because of that whole wombo combo I talked about. Jump on someone squishy and then you do the like 1.5 second explosion on them with all your resets. They just kind of explode or get alongside the Dead Man's Plate. It's really fun. Anyways, Warwick comes to fight me. He gets, you know, stunned. And then they quickly realize, hey, I do a lot of damage now that I have my item. But you saw sort of at least the combo there. Just, again, I know if I had the Trinity Force or something, I still would have, you know, destroyed them right there. But I have a huge health pool right now. And I know I'm pretty fed. But that huge health pool, thanks to, well, Titanic Hydra, is pretty good, and I get to blow up people. Again, watch the one I believe I do it on the Zillion at one point, and against the Ashe as well. I do the Wombo combo. It's not gonna win you games or do anything super flashy or something. It's just look funny that a lot of people are probably surprised by it. In the case of the Zillion, it's like I'm just gonna use my ultimate when he hits me with his last attack. It's not gonna obviously chunk half of my health, but you'll see it. Anyways, this game is kind of a done deal. I already got to sort of pop off. I'm Jax mode, the Darius is fed, the Xin Zhao hasn't learned his goddamn lesson yet, so he keeps going all in. I mean, he almost killed the Darius, but it was kind of because he was out of mana. Zillion goes in, here's the extra combo, papa. You know, it's just a huge blow to him. I mean, it's not the biggest deal again, but it's just kind of fun to see it happen on any squishy character. The enemy team, I think, at this point, we're all sort of raging a little bit. Mostly the Xin Zhao and the Warwick, because, they kind of got destroyed. To be honest, the Xin Zhao kind of, was his own, it was his own, he was his own proponent of his misery. The Warwick, I think he just kind of got destroyed and overestimated his teammates, or overestimated his top teammate, or underestimated me, probably both. Either way, it's just a sort of a systematic destruction of the enemy team now. They can't really do very much. Like here, I'm just literally just going to taunt up to the Warwick and we're going to do a lot of damage. And if it wasn't for Zillion saving his life, he would have died. Pro tip, and this is surprisingly happens a lot in these games. Just because you're next to a tower doesn't mean you're safe. Whatever. The game is almost over. Like, they're going to surrender right now. The Titanic build, I recommend it on Jax, and I've been using Jax, Jarvan, and Xin Zhao to, rank up in solo queue, and you've seen the progress with that so far. And remember, if you enjoyed the video, make a comment below in the comment section, and also give the video a like. That helps the channel a lot more than you think.